right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for attending our we're bringing back a tradition that this program used to do back in the day and doing a spring parent potluck, bring in some of the new faces, bring in some, to welcome some of our old people as well. Not old people, sorry. Old faces, my apologies. Some of the returning members to our program and get kick-started with our season. For those of you who have not seen me in person, my name is Mr. Tripp, band director here at the high school. This is going to be my third marching band season. I'm actually a 2016 graduate of Grand Blanc. I'm very grateful to be back here teaching and helping build the program that built me into the person that I am today. I fell in love with music here, and I hope that your students fall in love with music as well. A couple things that we're going to talk about today are, we have a couple different agenda items. A couple things, including, we're going to talk about our program a little bit, not just the marching band, but as a whole, talking a little bit about what we have to offer in a variety of different ways. Yeah, like I said, this is all for us eager to join the band family and ready to go. So we'll start here for a second. We're going to talk a lot about the marching band today, obviously. We are also using this to wrap up our normal monthly booster meetings for the general membership. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the other staff that we have with the marching band, talk about our schedule, and then talk about the cost of marching band today as well. And I want to say thank you to Mr. Fox for helping us not only record the audio, but also the visual, so that way we can get this information out to the parents that can't be with us this evening. Okay, so who are we? We are Grand Blanc Instrumental Music at the high school. We have a variety of different ensembles that we offer. Obviously tonight we're here to talk about the marching band, but we have a winter guard, we have a winter drumline. All of these groups compete in their respective conferences. Competitive arts is our big thing here. Bottom left picture is us at Jazz Night just last Friday. It was a huge success. Lots of desserts, lots of other treats. Really good night, and then just a lot of really good camaraderie and teamwork that happen in our ensemble. We perform a lot, we compete, and we have a good time as we do so. So what do we believe in? We have a lot of pillars that we talk to our students about. Obviously we're talking about teamwork. This is an activity that everybody needs to do the same thing the same way every single time. Otherwise you're going to be able to notice that in a negative way. So we're always talking about being together. That also goes into peer mentoring. We have a lot of upperclassmen that actively work with our lowerclassmen in sectionals, help them feel like they're part of our band family, but also helping them feel like that they're learning and along for the ride with them. We don't want anybody feeling left behind as we teach them a lot of things very quickly. Time management and accountability are also big in our program. We do rehearse a lot. We don't rehearse or practice as much as most of the athletics on campus, but we still do have a pretty jam-packed season in the first half of the first semester here at the high school, as well as over the summer. And then we also talk about passion and competition. We are not competing to say we are trying to win the state championship every single year, and if we don't win the state championship, that season is a failure. We as a program can only control what we can control. We will be the best version of ourselves. We will help each other grow, and we will make sure that we are doing it in a very fair and very welcoming way. Passion is something that comes very naturally in our program as well. By the time kids get to their junior or senior year, you would notice a lot of students doing almost every ensemble that we offer. Because we structure our schedule to allow students to do so. When they have a passion for music, we want them to be able to express that passion in a variety of different ways. So again, a lot of you guys are here to hear about the marching band. I just wanted to give you guys a couple quick reminders. Marching band is a class. Students will get a half credit for completing the marching band, even if they are a current 7th grader going into 8th grade. Not this year, but next school year. We haven't necessarily started advertising this yet. If you are a part of the marching band for 2 seasons, that will become a gym waiver. So your students do not necessarily need to take gym. We used to tell students to take summer gym and summer health, so that way they could free up time for band and marching band respectively. We're very lucky that that's coming down the pipeline very soon. So as your students are getting into the high school and looking at scheduling, that is something that you guys can consider and your students can consider as well, to say, hey, if I do marching band for 2 seasons, I'm not going to have to worry about taking gym. Maybe I can continue to take band. We have a couple students that actually take more than 1 band class by the time they get to their junior and senior year, or being able to take band as well as also taking some of the other electives at the high school that they'd like to be a part of. A couple other things as well. This is a competitive marching band, which means we go to a couple competitions once we get into the school year. One of those shows we actually hosted for the first time last season here. The Grand Blanc Invitational was a large success for our program. We welcomed 12 other competing bands to our campus last September. We performed in our new awesome sports facility. That was great. We got a lot of comments saying we want to come back. This is the closest resemblance to Ford Field, which is where we do our state finals every year. It's the tallest press box in the state, basically, which means a lot of judges and a lot of directors get a viewpoint of their show from the highest than they'd ever get before they go to states, which is a really good read, as we're kind of building a show tailored to being very much a performing art, kind of almost theatrical in a way, and also making sure that we are having the best performance, not only from the field level, but also all the way up in the box. What kind of experience is needed to join our ensemble? The answer is none. A lot of your students have probably been playing their instruments since 6th grade. If you're a color guard student, they might be picking up a rifle or a flag or a saber for the first time in the last couple weeks. That is also okay. We want to make sure that we are as welcoming as possible. We will find a spot for your student if they are willing to be a member of our group, put in the work, but also find a new family at the high school. It was really important for me. I was a very nervous kid. So freshman year, 2012, I wasn't sure if I was going to do marching band. I walked into the band room. It was super scary, but I got some of those freshman year jitters right out of the way by knowing almost all of these people that were going to be my longtime friends from about 4 months before I even stepped foot in the high school for a class in and of itself, which I think is very valuable to our students. What are some things that have helped students in the past as well? Anybody that obviously middle school band, like I mentioned, but also a lot of students, especially in the color guard, are benefiting from having any like dance or pom or theater experience. That's been helping them a lot as well. Wind kids as well, or percussion for that matter. Our 2024 program was called Whispers of the Woods. So this was actually a show we tailored. Yeah, I'll bring it over a second. So this was a show where we tailored our program around a violinist, and she just graduated. We're sad to see Carly go, but we put her on a pedestal. We moved her around. She played a lot of electric violin for us. We actually had our student AV department over at West Campus. They made a little kind of hype video for our students of some footage from our football game last year, one of our performances. I wanted to share that with you guys a little bit to kind of get the gist of what our show was last year. So as you kind of saw, our program was kind of a little bit darker. We had a lot of movable trees on the field. All of our students had a lot of different kind of monster face paint. The color guard members kind of entered our woods, and then our violinist was somewhat of like a siren that kind of took them over, and they became one with the trees. It was a really cool show. Our kids loved performing it. We just revealed our 2025 program to our students last Thursday, so don't be no phones right now. I'll give you guys an opportunity to learn about our show as well. 2025 program is going to be called Waveforms. So this is going to be a show all about how we can manipulate sounds. Pretty cool because we actively play music for the most part, but you're going to hear a lot of electronics. You're going to hear a lot of pitch bending. You're going to hear very pure sounds versus very like raw, very synthesizer kind of based stuff. There's a show from about 10 years ago by a group called the Bluecoats. They did a show called Kinetic Noise, if you're looking and interested in looking about what Drum Corps International is. Basically what we do on a professional level. We kind of based our show around what they did a few years ago. Our uniforms will probably have hoods. They will not be white though. They will not keep them white. They will not last, I promise you. So if you look at the bottom of our anticipated color guard uniform, how it ombres from that orange to a purple at the bottom, we're going to keep that ombre going to a little bit darker of a purple and that will be the uniform for our students. We will keep that sound wave yellow and orange, probably right here on the chest. And it's a little bit harder to see, but there are some white sound waves that are already present on that uniform. We're going to keep those white, but they're also kind of three-dimensional, they're textured. So it's going to be part of their uniform that we have a sound wave that's very much electronic, and then we have one that's a little bit more ripple-based. The students saw that, and you should have seen their faces. So, like I mentioned, we are not only a competitive group, we will sometimes wear our reds. Those are what we usually wear at our football games. We wear them in the homecoming parade. These are what we call our competitive uniforms. This is what we wear when we go to competitions, especially when we're getting judged. So, like I mentioned, this is a class. So once we get into the school year, around June 10th, we're going to talk about commitment contracts a little bit later. June 10th is when we start grading, okay? Most of the grades that your student is going to get in this class is based on attendance. There are certain activities that we do that are required, so we'll talk about some of the camps that we do here in a second. Students already know what to do if they know they're going to be absent from a rehearsal. There's an absence request form on our website that we'll also talk about a little bit later. But the normal schedule once school starts, which is I believe this year is August 25th, is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9. Some of our students do athletics right after school, so we try and do our rehearsals after that to give the students an option to do both if they so choose. Saturdays are our competition Saturdays. We're only going to a few shows this year. Our first show is here at Grand Blanc. Then we are going to Plymouth for a show, and then we're going to the Lansing area for state prelims, and then every year we conclude our season at Ford Field down in Detroit for state finals, which is usually the highlight of our season, being down, going through the tunnel, opening up into the place where the Lions play, and they're finally good now, so that's even better to go and be on their part. I mentioned this earlier, but I think it's important to recognize we're going to see that there is a lot of rehearsing that we do to put this product and this high-level product on the field. Most of what we do is still less practice time than most of the athletics on campus, because they might go for only 2 hours, but they're practicing almost every day of the week, Monday through Friday, possibly if they have any summer camps or any Saturday kind of OTA, optional team activities. So we do a lot. It is a class, but at the same time, we do feel like we've changed the schedule a little bit this year to allow for some more free time in the summer, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. So we are currently in our spring part of our season. This is for students to come try us out, meet their section members, kind of start do some team building, all of that good stuff. This is not a rehearsal, but your students have been alerted about this for the last couple of rehearsals. Next Wednesday, we're going to have a little bit of a fun night in the band room. I want them to bring a comfy chair. I've told them no mattresses because that's going to take up too much space. But if they want to bring a lawn chair, if they want to bring a beanbag or a pillow and a blanket, I don't know, like they can bring it. If they pay $5, I'm going to give them some popcorn and some drinks, and then I'm going to let them vote on a movie, and we're just going to hang out. That's going to be the first of many kind of just like optional, but for fun kind of team building days, just where we can kind of meet one another, especially our prospective students. There will also be some students from our band classes that aren't necessarily in the marching band that will be there. So it's going to be a good opportunity for everybody to meet one another and just have a good time. Again, the purpose of our spring, we want to give everybody an opportunity to try marching band before making a decision about it. We start from the basics for everybody. Even if they're going into their senior year, we always start from the first level. What does it mean to play in time? What does it mean to move our feet in time, or play a concert F pitch in tune, or boards with our percussionists, or drop spins with our color guard? We always start from ground one so no one feels like they're left behind. We also give our student leaders an opportunity to kind of build some camaraderie with their sections, and also, again, meeting one another and feeling comfortable with the people that you're meeting is a big deal to us. If anyone wanted to take a picture, just more information of what we're doing next Wednesday, this is the flyer that the students also have access to. I know sometimes they're not the best at communicating that to us, so that's why it is here as well. If you are interested, this will also be posted on our band Facebook page as well. Mrs. Johnson, yes?
$5. Do you want cash only? Is that something that
If we could do cash only, that would make it way easier. I told them a crisp $5 bill, like newly minted, would be perfect. But if it's a super tattered one, I guess I'll take it. 5 ones, I guess, make it work. Cash, if possible, that would be very easy for us. After the spring, we get into the summer, and this is where the change of our schedule really happens. In the previous years, there has been some sort of marching band, whether it was 1 day a week or a camp. There was something every week of the entire summer. And after talking to a lot of parents and a lot of students, we felt that that was kind of getting in the way of certain people making the choice to join our ensemble. We have X amount of rehearsal hours that we feel we can budget for a season to get to where we want to go. But we decided let's try and restructure that a little bit this year, so that way when families are looking to take vacations, go out of town, see family, we might be able to make it a little bit easier for you guys to have the summer, let the students feel like it's their summer, but also when we're here to rehearse, it's a little bit easier to commit to that. So our first camp is actually the week after school, and then after that, everybody will get 2 weeks off. We're gonna do our fundamental camp. If your student is a woodwind or a brass player, they will be here from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. If your student is in the drum line, the front ensemble, or the color guard, they will be here from 5 to 9. This is another change. We're trying something new. Some families like it in the morning, some families like it in the evening, some students like it in the morning or the evening. So this is the first time we're ever trying a morning time for these mini camps as well, just to see which students prefer. If a lot of the drumline and guard kids say, we'd rather it be in the morning, maybe next year we'll try it in the morning, or vice versa, okay? When we get to pre-band camp and band camp, that's everybody all at the same time. Pre-band camp is 5 to 9, the week of the 21st in July, and then band camp, all of this stuff is here at the high school. We're always looking for new opportunities to let the students try some new things, have fun activities, whether it's a staff versus student kickball on one of our new turf fields, or a movie night outside during band camp on the stadium on the big screen. That's one of the things we're looking to do as well this year at band camp. We do a lot of fun activities even though we are still here putting in some good work. We ask a lot of students talk about, hey, what's the biggest challenge about marching band? A lot of people say the time commitment. We do have a very condensed schedule. This class technically runs from August 25th all the way to the middle of January when the semester ends. Our season ends at Ford Field. This year is November 1st. So in order to fulfill the requirement for this being a class, that's why we're doing all of this meeting during the summer, and even right now, kind of giving the students the opportunity to try it before actually signing up for the signing up for the class. June 10th is that day where once the commitment contracts are turned in, I will send that list to our counselors. You will not need to worry about signing your student up for marching band with the counselors. The list that I give to them will be the list of students that get added, and if we miss anybody, we'll make sure we make it work for you. Organization is definitely a big one as well. We ask students to keep track of their music. We will usually catalog their equipment, their uniforms. We'll make sure that stuff stays clean. But just keeping yourself organized is obviously sometimes a challenge for high schoolers, and we're trying to build those expectations as they leave this program. Organization is key in the workforce, and especially in college or trade school or whatever your students decide to do. And then class during the summer is the big one. Some students are like, I don't want to be meeting during the summer. I don't think anybody would want to be doing marching band mid-December though. I think that would be very not fun, especially if we have to be outside. So, another big tip, my grades were always higher during marching band season compared to when they weren't. I don't know why. A lot of kids say the same thing, and they just say, it's because marching band forces me to be organized more. When they get done with the marching band season, like, oh, look at all this extra time I have. And then that's when procrastination sets in. Trust me, I was there. I tell the students all the time, this is a hard activity, but it's a very worthwhile activity that helps you in more ways than just becoming a better performer. You're going to become a better student, you're going to become a better team member, you're going to become a better person by doing this activity. And I think that's really the biggest thing that comes from our program. So, again, this is kind of the big ticket item, the big part of the discussion today. Marching band is not free. We do not necessarily get money from the school to run our ensemble. Every 7 years, I can apply for a large chunk of new equipment. We just received some new drumline equipment this year, which is awesome. 7 years ago, we received some new percussion equipment from the front ensemble. Sometimes we get some new sousaphones, which is the big marching tubas, or marching baritones for that matter. That stuff is in the works right now, but that's usually all that the school provides for us. We are a self-funded ensemble. I do think it's also important to recognize some of the groups that we compete against. This were their tuition dues per member last year. So we look at Lake Orion, which is just down I-75. They were $14.50 per student. Walled Lake Central and Western High School combined this year for the Walled Lake Marching Band. They were about $1,500 per kid. Plymouth Canton Educational Park, that's 3 high schools in one. They charged $1,900, and then all the way over in Rockford, they were charging almost $2,000 per student to be a part of their competitive marching band. Now for us, we were able to do it for $850 for a variety of reasons that we will talk about. We stretch that a lot. It does not fully cover every student's dues. We would rather work to fundraise rather than ask you guys to pay probably more than double that. It's just, we don't want to price anybody out of this activity because we feel that it's a worthwhile activity for everybody. that $850 goes towards a lot of stuff. I don't know if you noticed, I'm not teaching right now, but rehearsal is still going on. Everybody is in different sections right now with our staff members getting better. Our percussion is in the band room, our color guard is down in our new auxiliary gym, which is the old pool, and then our wind members are with our visual staff doing some marching in the cafeteria right now. Those staff members are essential to helping this ensemble run. Obviously, I float around a lot and I teach in all these different sections, but we are very lucky that we have staff members that are here and know what they're doing at a very high level. So that way we can still have a rehearsal and I don't have to ask you guys to come in on a different day. We can kind of get two birds with one stone by having this meeting. We do custom music, drill, and show design. This is the only time that waveforms will be performed ever. This is the only time this music will be performed ever. It is written for us and only us. That is the only time it ever gets performed. Obviously, we do sell a lot of our competition uniforms after we use them, but every year we usually buy uniforms. We have to maintain our reds, props, equipment, anything like that. We have a fleet of trailers that we go to competitions with that we use, make sure they're in repair. Food for competitions, we feed kids anytime we're going to do a football game at band camp or go to a competition, they're going to feed us. We pay for buses to go to and from these competitions. And then we also have to pay to be a competitive marching band. We pay a registration to MCBA, and then we pay a show fee for every show that we attend. I kind of wrote out what we are able to do with that $850 that we're asking from you. So I mentioned a couple of them already. A couple things I want to point out. UDB is an app on our phone that we use to teach the kids drill. I will show us probably some examples a little bit later in the season for the kids as you will see how they're using it. It is an awesome app that we get at a discount by one of our staff members, but it is an essential tool for our classroom that is really awesome. We started using it for the first time last year. I can take attendance through this app and I can see who is the dot that's missing. I can then send a message to them. Just kidding. But a couple things as well. Thank you, Mr. Fox, or Vanna White, as they say. Every student that joins our ensemble, again, we are a group that wants to do everything the same way every single time. We get credit for doing that. Even our water jugs, we want them to be the exact same. So every student will get one of these. Each section kind of customizes their water jug a little bit. More importantly, when you see 100 kids walking in a line, all holding their instruments the same way, also holding one of these, it's pretty cool. And I know that some of you have probably already seen it and you're shaking your head yes right now. But that's part of what you get in those dues as well. What else? Every year we get a show shirt. This was last year's show sweatshirt that you could get as well. Whispers of the Woods. Miss Miller is wearing some right now. She's wearing Whispers of the Woods. Shout out. Awesome. There's the back as well. Yes, indeed. Again, same thing. It's a custom design every year. We work with people in the community. We love supporting local businesses because they support us. That is included in your students' dues as well. And then new this year that I wanted to point out, it's a very small little aspect of this $850. A lot of groups do this. This year we're going to bring in, these are going to be our season charms. So as you can see, this is a necklace that every student will get during our history night at band camp. Our logo is right here in the middle. We're going to go and look at the first competitive show we ever did was back in 2003. So we've been a competitive band for over 20 years. The seniors, this is brand new, the seniors are going to get beads for their junior, sophomore, and freshman year during that history night. And then everybody will get their show beads after they perform their first competition here. That's actually at Grand Blanc this year. They will get their first year show beads that will be on their necklace. We ask that they be wearing them on our show days. A lot of kids will probably wear it for maybe the rest of their high school career. It's just a little thing that helps connect us to one another. And like I said, I keep using the word band family on purpose. Because it really is. You should see some of these guys. We were playing warmer and colder during our icebreaker today, and they were all working together. It was great. So, one of our biggest fundraisers was working at the Renaissance Fair, and it was not fun. I will tell you that right now. Working turkey leg stand for 12 hours in the summer heats is not something that I wish upon my worst enemy now. But we have to figure out what we're going to do to make up that difference so we can keep our prices as low as possible. We have been hosting a WGI Color Guard competitive show in the winters for almost 10 years now, and that is a really good fundraiser for us. A lot of group, maybe about 30 plus color guards from around the country come to Flint. They come here for the WGI Flint Regional. They compete. We're able to get portions of ticket sales and concession sales, all that good stuff. Last year, like I mentioned, was the first time we hosted a marching band show here. That was also a major success. Because we are 1 week later in the season, We are already ahead of our projected total bands that will be attending our competition, which is awesome. The later in the season you are, it's kind of more of a desirable show hosting date. So we've moved it up a week closer to the end of the season, which is beneficial for us. We have been in touch with the Michigan Alliance of Performing Arts. They would love for us to host a percussion show in the winter, which is another fundraiser for us, which is awesome. And then MCGC, which is a different circuit for color guard, has also been looking into us to host a show. So when me and the Booster organization looks at these 4 opportunities to host competitive shows here, not only does it save our program money by our students not having to buy a bus and travel to a different location, it's also a way for us to help support the idea that we're not doing the Renaissance Fair anymore. And volunteering at a competitive show is way more fun than a fairy coming up to you and saying, "Can I please have some soup?" And then you're like, "Why do you want soup in the summer?" That happened last year. But again, this is new. The biggest part of it being new as well is the point that some of the volunteer responsibilities that we are going to be asking of you as parents of marching band kids is volunteering after our season is done. So that's the hardest part, because even though we are doing a lot of this stuff, the season gets done November 1st. These shows are happening after the season, and I think that's where we lose a lot of parents in the last couple of years, trying to get all the volunteer requirements done during the season. Because with the previous marching band schedule in the summer being so condensed, then also asking you guys to give up some weekends to work at the Renaissance Fair, it's just not an enjoyable experience to volunteer. We want volunteering and helping our students be successful. We want it to be something that we want to do. So this is going to be the first year that we're testing some of this stuff out. Parent volunteers are essential to this activity, and we couldn't do it without you. Obviously, a lot of groups and organizations will say the same thing. But really for us, it's essential to keep the price as low as it is compared to these other groups. We never want to price anybody out of marching band, and I will say that until the roof caves in. I don't feel that it would be fair for you to say, if you can't pay, then we don't want you. I feel like that'd be a really bad thing to say to somebody, and it's not fair. But, like I said, as soon as these dates get solidified, I will make sure that gets sent out to all of us, so that way we can start planning accordingly. Now, we also understand that not everybody is going to be able to do every single volunteer, okay? However, we do know that we have a base level of operation costs. To run just the marching band, we're looking at almost 6 figures at this point because of a variety of different things. But before I talk about the opt-out fees by events, anybody over the age of 18 can work to fulfill one of these. I see, we have a student that just graduated. Mom is looking at him like, "You're going to volunteer for your younger brother." I already tell you that. But if that is something that will work for your family, we will make that accommodation. If you need to talk to the boosters and work out a different plan, we will do that as well. This really comes down to, if we hear nothing from you, we are trying to work with you and we're just not hearing back, we need a way to recoup the losses of hiring people to work instead of parent volunteers not showing up, if that makes sense. So per event, we have general volunteering for the marching band. That could be including being a prop dad at a show, or helping build some of our props, or helping with meals at concession, or helping with meals during the season. A variety of general volunteering. That's one chunk. But if you are non-communicative and we don't do that at all, that would be $50 added to your band account by the end of the school year. Grand Lake Invitational, $50. The WGI show, $50. The MAPA show, $50. MCGC, $50. The multiplier of not doing it at all, and again, this really comes down to, if you are not communicating to us at all and trying to work with us at all, that extra $300 would have to get added to your account. That is what we estimate is the loss of certain parents not helping it out. We also start to burn out a lot of parents if it's always the same 10 or 15 working the entire school day, or working the entire day for a volunteer show event like this. We're trying to spread the wealth over not only the season, but the entire school year, to make it more beneficial for you guys. If you're only able to do a 4-hour shift on this day with months of planning, I think that would be way more approachable, and we think that would be more approachable than asking you to put in an entire day's work, or 2 entire days of work over the summer when it's hot. And we get to be inside. It's winter, but it's not outside, I promise. Except in one position.
It's way more fun. Way more fun.
Do you want to say that real quick?
It's way more fun than the Renaissance Fest. Let's just say that.
We're trying to. We've heard a lot of feedback about the Renaissance Fair, and while it did help us fundraise a lot, the general consensus is there would be some students and parents that would say, "I would rather not do marching band if that is the fundraiser. So we're hearing you, we're changing this up, and we want as many people as possible. We don't want to send you away by a fundraiser that we're doing. So again, we will always try and make it work. Sorry, that's Robbie the Bobcat. He travels with us to every performance that we do. He has a bandana that he wears, and he sits on top of the drum major podium. The kids love him. He gets passed around during band camp. We take selfies with him. It's awesome. But again, we will always work with your family to help your student be a part of our program. We have scholarships available. We have payment plans that we can adjust as needed depending on the needs of the family. And we also have financial aid applications that we as a booster organization would love to support you as much as we can to help your student be a part of this activity. We want them to be a part of it because we feel it's worth it. This is a growing program. So far in the spring, we've had almost 120 unique students show up to these spring rehearsals, which is great. Last year, we only marched 70 students. So we want as many students as possible, whether they've been in high school and this is their senior year, or they are a current 7th grader going into 8th grade that knows they want to be a part of it. Trying to be as open as possible, trying to be as transparent that we will help you in any way that we can to hopefully get your students to be a part of our program. So a couple other just frequently asked questions before I turn it over to Mr. Fox. Like, we talk about how do we justify these summer and fall rehearsals? What exactly am I paying for, like we mentioned previously? Is it worth it, is a big thing that some parents have asked me. Once they see their student going through the tunnel at Ford Field, I think a lot of those questions kind of answer themselves. Whether it's the winter drumline competing down at WGI World Finals in Dayton, or the color guard specifically competing at MCGC Finals, or our marching band competing down in Detroit. The competition isn't why we do it, but it's probably the highlight of their season. And I've talked to the students last Tuesday at the end of their rehearsal. They might be coming home saying that their feet hurt, probably. They might be coming home saying, we really just talked a little bit about just scraping the surface of everything, whether it's marching or playing or combining the two. I asked them to give us an opportunity to show you why every veteran is willing to come back in the spring and do all of the gritty work and do all like the basics truly. It's because they get out to the competitions, they get to meet people from other bands, they get to have a great time competing, and at the end of the day, seeing pictures of themselves performing on the field, they like put it as their profile pictures immediately in our band communication app. It's because it's the best part of the activity. We have a lot of fun time at band camp and a variety of other opportunities, but at the end of the day, the students will feel it's worth it very soon, and I think you as the parents and guardians will see that passion and see the dedication and the hard work that they put in and find the why by seeing them perform at these competitions and at these football games. Because it's truly incredible of what they're able to do in such a short amount of time. I'm going to pass it off to Mr. Fox. He's been over here helping with the computers. I will be sticking around to answer any questions that you may have. But I wanted to take a second to also introduce the rest of our current booster board. So like I said, Mr. Fox has been up here. Erin Miller is our vice president. She was up here saying volunteering at a show is way better than the Renaissance Fair. I agree. Erin Matson is back there taking some notes. She's our secretary. And then we have two treasurers. We have Mr. Fitek, who I believe is back there. There he is. Mr. Fitek's waving. And then we have Jody Johnston is up here as our other treasurer. It's a team effort here. We would love to get you guys involved, whether it's on a board position or helping in a variety of other ways, and I believe that's what he's going to talk to us about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tripp. So again, my name is Michael Fox. I'm the Band Booster president. So the Band Boosters meet 5 to 6 times a year, and many of you may not know this, but you are all a part of the Band Booster organization, so welcome. So the Band Boosters exist, kind of primarily to help with the financial and to help boost the program. So it's targeted to volunteers and to fundraising. So that's kind of how we focus all of our time, and that allows, Mr. Tripp as the director to focus on everything else. So a few pieces of information for you tonight. So communication, we want to make sure everybody knows how to find information. So we use the Band app. It's an actual mobile app that you can download on your phone. So within that app, there's different groups. So these are 2 of the groups in the app. And if you're in marching band or part of the band program at all, you'll want to be in both of these. A lot of people ask why we have 2. The band orchestra parents group covers everything in the band program. So you're going to get information about the boosters, you're going to get information about our fundraisers, you're going to get stuff outside of marching band in that group. We then have a marching band focus group, and that's important because there's a lot of information specific to marching band that doesn't apply to those that aren't in marching band, because there's a lot of kids and families that are not. So I'll give you a second. If you don't have that band app, you'll need to download that, set up an account, you scan these, and we'll send this out as well. It'll allow you to join that band app. You do have to get accepted in. Mr. Tripp will do that, so that's kind of that part of that. So within those, we'll communicate all the information about all the fundraisers, about rehearsals, just everything about the program will be in there, so it's a very vital piece of information for you as a family. The kids use it as well, so they communicate the schedules and stuff for rehearsals through that app as well. So if you've been involved in the program, you'll likely know what that is. If you're new, you may not. We can help you with that afterwards as well. So you'll want to be part of both of those. We also have a website, so that QR code will take you to the website right now. The best way to find the website at the moment, and we're working on improving this, is just to go to Google and type in Grand Blanc Instrumental Music, and it's the first hit. So on that website, you're going to find all the information about all the programs, including marching band, including all of our fundraising opportunities and volunteering opportunities as well. There's a calendar on there. I don't think Mr. Tripp brought that up yet, but the calendar has the entire schedule on it right now. So if you don't have that written down, it's a great resource. You can actually subscribe to it. It's a Google Calendar, so that can help you out. So that website is a great resource as well. We try to have a couple different avenues for people to find all the information. Cut time is a dual purpose. Cut time is how we do our finances. So you're going to get a text message if you're in the program from Cut Time saying you have payments due, right? So if you're in it, we talked about the $800.50 fee. That's broken down. Did we talk about the breakdown?
Not yet.
Perfect. So there'll be a breakdown of payments, right? And you'll get notices through the Cut Time app saying a payment is due, and it tells you how to pay. Through Cut Time as well, we send out our newsletter. So you're going to get those two things. You're going to either get a financial reminder or you're going to get a newsletter. So that's just another way that we communicate all of our information out. So that QR code takes you to that website as well. Volunteer opportunities, we talked a little bit about this already. I just wanted to highlight some things so you guys, see some of the other options. We talked about those shows and competitions that we host. We need you all to participate in those. In addition to that, during the marching band season, we do football games and we do competitions. And during both of those, we need chaperones. We need people to help push the props and the pit equipment on and off the stage. We need people to pull our trailers to get the equipment to the competitions. And that's about it for those two things. So then we've got a prop building team. So if you're handy or not and just want to do it anyways, we'll take you. We built some amazing props. If you guys saw the trees last year, those were super cool. I don't see a lot of marching bands with 26 9-foot trees, so it's just amazing. So that prop team is great. Love to have you there. Always need help with uniforms, taking care of those, and then as Mr. Tripp mentioned, we feed the kids often, and we need help serving that food as well. We talked about the competitions, and then we have other fundraisers, like we just did the Jazz Night a week or two ago. We can use help there. We had a 5K race, if you're not familiar, so that's a fundraiser for us as well. So those are all opportunities to get involved. Band festivals, so our day bands go to band festivals, and we can always use help there with similar things, getting equipment there, chaperones. And then just wanted to mention, this is for the kids, right? So having a great attitude goes a long way with the kids, helps them be excited to be in this program. And we just ask that you be flexible. We do our best to communicate what we know, and sometimes we got to change on the fly. So just be aware that that does happen. All right, lastly, we've been hearing lots of great feedback, as Mr. Tripp brought up. We put together this parent survey to try to get more feedback from you, to try and, we want to listen, we want to make the improvements as we can. So if you haven't done it yet, we've pushed this out a little bit. Scan the QR code, spend just a couple minutes, fill out the survey, and it really would help us learn how we can make this program better as a whole. So if you could take some time to do that. I don't know if you have anything to follow up, but we'll be here afterwards. We'll answer any questions you have. We can put some of these QR codes back up. We can help you get in the band up if you need to. Thank you.
I think I'll leave you guys. He mentioned that there is a Google Calendar on our website. I'll walk you guys through that real quick just to kind of show you what is laid out there for just a moment if it's possible.
You want me to bring it up?
Yeah. right, so as he kind of blows this up a little bit, we are now live on our website. One of the first couple links that you'll see on the left is our Google Calendar. The entire marching band season is on not only this calendar, but when you join the 2025 marching band page on the band app, the rehearsal schedule is also in the events calendar on the app as well. So multiple ways that we're trying to keep you guys on the same page with everything. It's really, and also helping the students stay on the same page. Because for those of you who don't know, I also teach a class at West Middle School, and a couple of my students said, Mr. Tripp, are we rehearsing tomorrow? And I said, yes, we talked about it. It's on the calendar. And I'll always say, check the Google Calendar. That's like a button answer that I wish I could press every single time, like an easy button. So we are currently here. You'll see our meet and greet kind of barbecue. Our parent meeting is currently taking place, wrapping up. We will not have a rehearsal next Thursday. We will be playing at graduation in the stadium. Movie night, actually I'll make sure that gets added to the calendar tonight. That will be right here on the 28th. Students will have only one rehearsal next week. And then we take a look into June. A couple rehearsals on the 3rd and the 5th. Then the first contract and the deposit number 1 is going to be due on June 10th. Now, first time we talked about contracts with the kids was today in our opening meeting. If they are looking to be a part of this program, we wanted to give them ample opportunities to come try it out before making a decision, also giving you guys the information as early as possible so you can also be part of making that decision with your student. If your student wants to be part of this ensemble, we ask that you go on our website, and I'll show you that here in just a second as well, and have a contract submitted, basically agreeing that students will follow the school rules because this is a class, and going through and agreeing to the volunteering kind of requirements that we have talked about previously over the last couple minutes. The first deposit, I'll make sure that it gets added on here as well. It will be sent to you in cut time. We have a lot of costs that are up front, so we did the math. We're going to have our first deposit of $250 due on June 10th. And like I said, if there are some adjustments that need to be made, we are happy to work with you to make sure that the payment is what makes sense maybe with your guys' pay schedules and whatnot. Mr. Fitek and Mrs. Johnson are here to help out with that. As long as you're communicating, we will, like I said, we want to make it work with you as best. But that first $250 deposit would be due on June 10th, as well as any student that wants to be part of this group. To attend that rehearsal, they must have a contract turned in. One of the first things that we do by that day, we should know who is in the 2025 Grand Blanc High School Marching Band. We will then go out to the field for the first time as a band. The students aren't allowed to be on our field unless they're a member of our group. And that's kind of a really cool thing where we all walk together. We actually have a band tower now, so you'll see myself and the staff kind of rising above everybody for the first time this year. But it's kind of a really cool experience for our new students. They're walking onto our turf field for the first time. Our logo is in the middle of that field as well. It's there's not a lot of schools in the country that have a marching band field that is just for us. Other groups use it in the off season, but our logo being on that field is a really special opportunity. We look through the rest of the summer, like I mentioned, Fundamental Camp is going to take place from the 16th through the 20th. Then we have 2 weeks off for the marchers. Payment number 2 would be due on June 30th. The rest of the payments will be $150. Next payment being on August, whoops, did I skip one? I think I skipped July. Yes, there we go. It's right here, June 30th. They have the rest of the 4th of July off. Mini camp taking place the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Then we give everybody another week off before our 2 weeks of band camp. Payment number 3, so we can make some payments before band camp, are due on the 18th. Then we get all of our payments done before school starts, because by that time we have all of our competitive uniforms, our props need to be done. Our first performance of the season happens to be at this first football game. We actually don't have an August football game this year, which is awesome. Less sweaty kids is always a good thing for the smell in the band room. Then we have homecoming here on the 19th. We never have rehearsal on the 20th, the Saturday of homecoming. We want the kids to go to the dance. Then we have our first show here, GBMB MCBA Grand Blanc. And then we conclude the season, no Halloween rehearsal. We want them to go trick-or-treating safely. And then our season wraps up really quickly once school year starts. It flies by. So like I said, all this information to you is available on our website currently. If you scroll down just a little bit farther, if your student is super gung-ho and like, Mom, Dad, please sign me up. If you go over here, this is the marching band kind of talking about what we are. Click on marching band docs and forms. Your students, a lot of your students did this already, but check with them if they haven't filled out this form. This is not us signing them up for marching band. This is just making sure we have all your contact information if there's any questions. making sure you guys can get into the band app, also helping me keep track of who's here, just in case my administration is wondering, hey, who is coming from East, who's coming from West and Perry, respectively. Financial aid applications can be found right here. They are due on June 3rd, so that way us as a booster organization can meet, we can talk about our financial aid total, we can disperse it to the families before we're asking commitment contracts to be due. That information of if you are getting financial aid, that would be important if whether or not you are possibly signing a contract. So that information would get sent out before they are due. And like I said, there's a couple other forms that we'll talk about once students are a member of our group. But the biggest thing is if a student shows up to rehearsal and they don't have a contract in, we would be asking them right then and there, hey, where's your parents at? I don't want them to sign it. I don't want the student signing a contract without your knowledge. So it should be you as the parents and guardians signing this with them, so that way you understand and no one's caught off guard. Okay, like I said, if there's any questions, I appreciate you all. I'm glad that we're bringing an old tradition back with that kind of meet and greet, introducing everybody to one another. Myself and the boosters will probably be coming down here in a second to answer any questions. We can divide and conquer, but we were able to keep it under an hour. Your students will be done at 8:30 right on the dot. I held them over a little bit on accident on Tuesday, so I'll make sure we get them out in time. I appreciate you all. Please let me know if you have any questions. Could we put the last slide up with my contact info? And if you ever want to contact me directly through the band app via chat, by all means you may do so. But if you want to be a little bit more formal, my email is atrip@gbcs.org. A lot of questions can be answered by either the boosters or by taking a look at our GBHS instrumental music website. I appreciate you all. I hope you allow your students to have the opportunity to experience how awesome this ensemble is. And we are very lucky that your student is considering joining. Thank you so much. If you please have any questions, come and ask you. I appreciate you all. Thank you.